Hey guys, MD Prepper here, another gun review. This time on the Taurus Judge Public Defender 410/45 caliber hand cannon. These are real popular right now. From what I've read, they are currently and remain and have been before the most popular selling handgun revolver style firearm out there. And I can obviously see why. It has a lot of advantages, though I think some of those advantages may be a little overplayed. Love this. I've had it maybe 6 months. This is the blued steel version, obviously. Bought this at a gun show, like I said, about 6 months ago. One of the dealers I deal with a lot, they had them on special for, I believe it was $380, which frankly is the finest deal I've seen on this version around here in South Carolina. It was a gun show special they had beginning of the day on a Saturday. By the time I got through the line to get in, they only had 2 left. Again, I knew the guys talked down an extra 20 bucks on this thing. It had been $3.99. And I don't think I didn't pay any tax on either. Again, I bought from these guys for a while. Not a tremendous savings, but hey, every little bit counts. I got the blued steel. I might have preferred the stainless for this gun, but frankly, I like blued steel weapons better than stainless. I think they're classier looking, so I will oil my guns, keep them in good shape anyway, so no major problems there. The Public Defender is shorter than your standard original Judge. The Judge had, I believe it was a 3.5-inch barrel, 3-inch, something like that, can't remember. The Public Defender has your standard little snubby barrel on it, 2 inches or so. You say, well, this doesn't like a snubby. Well, it's not. Exactly. It's just got a longer cylinder. It fires a different set of cartridges. But basically, it is a snubby. It's just too long for a snubby. Here is my little Taurus 85 ultralight and 38 special that I've had for quite a while. This used to be, and I guess still is, one of my favorite little carry guns other than my pocket 380s that you've seen reviews of earlier. Very lightweight, fairly accurate, very cheap. I got this for $3.25, I think, down in Columbia on a special for one of the big chain stores. Like this a lot. For concealed carry, I still like a snubby compared to the Judge. Judge is just a little too big, too bulky. I'm still trying to figure out how in the world I want to use my Judge. Shoot it fairly frequently, but it's a little too big for concealed carry. If I'm going to conceal carry something this big, I'm going to carry a 45, I'm going to carry a Glock, you know, just something with a higher mag capacity, and might run overall better rounds, so I may dispute that. I think this Judge is perfect for people who don't own a lot of firearms and aren't that recoil sensitive. The 2 places I see this is best, home and car. If you're at home and you are already on a shotgun, I don't know if I'd pick this. I'd probably use my shotgun first and have my standard handgun beside me, my Glock or whatever. I've got a lot of options. I'm quite the gun owner, so this isn't my first pick. But this would be a good first pick if I had to own just a handful of firearms. This is a good nightstand gun. If you're using the shot shells in it, it's going to do the job fairly well. Not as well as a 12 gauge, nowhere near, not going to say it is, but this will get the job done just fine. I think this thing really excels as a glove box gun. I think that's really where this thing was designed for. It's big, not huge, it's medium sized, but this is for the console or glove box of your vehicle, if you can do so in your state. Here in South Carolina, we can do that without a permit. Keep it loaded and all of that. This is the perfect kind of carjacking response gun. You keep this thing loaded with buckshot or birdshot, which I don't recommend, but buckshot. Point this in the general direction of the bad guy who's just a few feet away from you, and it's going to stop the problem. Compared to your little 38, line them up. A little bit longer overall. It's a whole lot longer if you're trying to carry it in your pocket. This is the way to pocket carry. You can't really pocket carry this. In the waistband, maybe. I still say out of the waistband for it. With your Judge, 5-shot capacity, 45 long Colt, and 410. The Public Defender as it says here on the top, with very nice engraving. Not sure if you can see that. Very classy there. Is a 2.5 inch. No, wait a minute. Sorry. Yeah, 2.5 inch cylinder for the 410. They do make the 3 inches. I think the 3 inches are overkill, frankly. My God, enough already. This thing kicks enough with the 410s, and it's very stiff. If you're a first-time shooter, if you're not very comfortable around firearms, I don't recommend this at all. 45 long Colt isn't tremendously powerful in recoil on this, but it's recoil enough. You probably want to stick with your 38. The shotgun shells, they're stiff. I talked to a guy last weekend at the range who had the polymer version of this. He said he liked it, but again, he's an accomplished shooter as well. I saw the polymer the same day I bought this for a little bit more. Did not want the polymer and something shooting a shotgun shell. I want some steel. I want some weight to suck up that recoil. This has the rubber grips on it, which are made famous by Taurus. Like those a lot. Can't say enough about them. I may actually replace this one with rubber grips at some point. Fiber optic front sight. You can see that. Flip her around. That makes a heck of a lot of difference in low light shooting. I like that a lot. The 45 long Colts are expensive, especially for target ammo, but they shoot real well in this. I would not personally recommend just keeping shotgun shells in this. I'd want some big heavy slug to take something down. Do not load this with 410 slugs. Load it with 45 long Colt hollow points if you're going to go for a single projectile. The weight and the velocities on a 45 long Colt hollow point are far superior to anything you're ever going to find in a 410 slug. So just don't even consider the 410 slugs. A lot of people hear birdshot in these. No, I don't want to do that. I want to, if I hit you, I want to stop you, or at least try to anyway. My personal opinion, you may differ. They do make trigger spring kits for this. Wolf Springs makes one. I don't have that yet. We'll probably do so. The single pull trigger is fantastic. The double pull, it's about what you'd expect for your standard Taurus. Not bad, but not fantastic. I may actually pay to get some trigger work done on this at some point, maybe. Or maybe just try to do so myself. Beauties of a revolver, as we all know, it's point and click. Very simple, but it's limited, only 5 rounds. Some people only carry 4 rounds just because they're scared to keep one in the cylinder as it sits. I'm not so frightened at all. As far as holsters go, let me get rid of Mr. 38. The only holster I have for this so far is this little Bulldog Kydex Cordura little sheath holster. It's okay. It's not my favorite. It was just what was available at Cheaper Than Dirt at the time. It's okay. Got your snap closure, which I'm not a big fan of. Don't really like those at all. It's just one more thing to get in the way. I worry that this thing may actually drop down into the holster and I accidentally try to holster it with a live round in there and press it off. So you gotta be a little careful. A little belt clip here with the Bulldog symbol on it. It's okay. But with a revolver as heavy as this thing flops around a lot. It's not the most comfortable that I've ever held on my belt. Just not as secure as I'm used to with leather sheaths and holsters and all that. I'm looking for a Kydex holster. Just haven't picked one up yet. I think Kydex would do a lot better with this type of revolver if you're going to carry it on your hip. But really, this gun is not meant for that. This is meant for a quick response type gun out of your glove box or your nightstand. I would not pick this as a concealed carry gun. You could. There's nothing wrong with it. It will get the job done, but I got better options in my opinion. Like I said, very fun to shoot. I like it. It's recoil stiff, but it does shoot those 45 long Colts pretty darn accurately for the short little barrel that it's got. Don't have any problems hitting the bullseye with this thing. Is it as good as my CZ9? No. Or as good as my 6.86 Smith & Wesson 357? Again, no. This is fine though. One thing I would caution, this thing is ridiculously expensive to shoot. 45 birdshot's not so bad, but once you start getting up in the defensive loads, it's kind of pricey. And 45 long Colt is just ridiculous these days, primarily because of the popularity of this gun. It's going to cost you $30+ per box of target ammo. So what I've done, and highly recommend the rest of you do, is go ahead and pick up one of those Lee Loader kits. I've already done a review on them before. Didn't review the 45 long Colt. I just reviewed the 38 Special, 357. Same thing, same general concept. They work exactly the same way. Buy yourself a couple boxes of target ammo for a 45 long Colt. Shoot through them. Get used to this gun, break it in, and then start reloading your own. You can even start reloading the hollow points that you're going to be shooting out of this thing anyway, the Hornady XTPs and all that. So it's going to have the proper grain, proper amount of powder to get you used to shooting your defensive loads. Very easy, very simple to do with a straight line cartridge and case, just like the 45 long Colt. Very much worth your time. The Lee Loader kit's going to run you about 20 bucks. Yeah, maybe another 20 bucks on powder. Then you got some primers and all that. But long story short, the brass is the hard thing to come by. Once you start loading it, this thing is going to be reasonably cheap to load. I think with the rates of primers and all that, I did the calculations a long time ago. From $30 per box of ammunition at the store, it dropped by almost half with the Lee Loader kit. I think it was $15 to $16 a box. And that's even shooting the better hollow points and all that. Of course, I don't recommend carrying reloaded hollow points in your revolver. You need the brand stuff just in case. Not going to cost you a fortune because, again, you're only shooting 5 rounds at a time. Get a couple boxes of that too. Again, Taurus Public Defender. Love it. Love it a lot. A lot of guys at the range are jealous. Not my favorite gun overall, but if I only owned a handgun or 2 and a shotgun, something like that, this would definitely be a must-have for your non-avid shooter. Even your avid shooter, it's a fun choice. I would definitely go with the Public Defender model for general purpose defense with a shorter barrel. I don't think you need that extra inch and a half there with the longer barrel standard judge. I think this will do the job just fine. MD Prepper out on the Taurus Judge Public Defender. Thanks.